Why was this January transfer window so quiet? Fabrizio Romano may have been working overtime, but this January has been a fizzer for Premier League clubs, particularly when you compare it to last season.
Is the Barclays Premier League experiencing a rare moment of tranquility in the transfer market, or are clubs secretly plotting their next big moves under the radar? Let's analyze the primary reasons why England's top clubs opted not to splash massive sums on new talent in the middle of the season. We'll look at the factors like financial fair play rules, underperforming big money summer signings, the World Cup effect wearing off, and top targets being unavailable. Financial fair play restrictions. What's driving the scarcity of major January transfers in the Premier League? The biggest factor behind the lack of blockbuster January deals has been tighter financial fair play regulations. Premier League clubs now face profitability and sustainability rules that limit acceptable losses to $105 million over 3 years. With COVID-19 having wreaked havoc on clubs' bottom lines, many are walking a FFP tightrope right now. Everton received a £100 million fine and 10-point deduction for repeated breaches, while the likes of Liverpool, Leeds, and Arsenal also faces scrutiny after posting recent losses. Rather than risk harsh punishments like Everton's, sides like Premier League have reeled in spending mid-season to focus on posting smaller short-term losses. Chelsea provide the perfect case study of a club highly incentivized to exercise financial caution. After last January record $323 million pre under former owner Roman Abramovich, new owner Todd Bowley has overseen a near £600 million outlay since taking over in late May, with Chelsea projected to record staggering FFP losses well exceeding £200 million during Bowley's first year at the helm. Further exorbitant buys were completely off the table this winter. Bowley has only spoken about the difficulty of improving his inherited squad while also keeping Chelsea profitable and sustainable. The American billionaire has been forced to curb his aggressive spending habits quicker than anticipated. Other top 6 clubs like Tottenham and Liverpool also find themselves in financial gray areas after heavy recent spending and COVID-inflicted losses. With profitability now prioritized under FFP, both were hesitant to greenlight January deals that could impact future balance sheets. The short version? All 20 Premier League clubs are acutely aware of shrinking margins for acceptable losses under profitability regulations. With little wiggle room left, additional expenditures that hamper efforts to break even simply made no mid-season sense. Summer signings yet to deliver. Why have many of the Premier League's high-profile summer signings failed to live up to expectations so far this season? Another major factor behind the Premier League's quiet winter has been several of the league's biggest summer signings failing to hit the ground running. England's top club spent over £1.5 billion ahead of his season, but many of those huge fees are not yet to be justified. Liverpool splashed $85 million on Darwin Núñez, but the Uruguayan have struggled mightily with injuries and disappointing returns of just 4 league goals. Given the Reds' injuries woes, Núñez was expected to carry the scoring burden but has floundered. Chelsea's £70 million Wesley Fofana has barely featured due to 2 serious knee injuries that have limited him to just 7 league appearances. Between injury spells, Ivorian's form has also failed to mirror his hefty price tag. Manchester City's British record $100 million plus signing of Jack Grealish has reaped just 3 goals and 4 assists, nearing the end of his second inconsistent season. The mercurial talent seems no closer to securing a regular starting role. Calvin Phillips, Jules Koundé, Marc Cucurella, Richarlison, Alexander Isak, and other mega money arrivals have similarly failed to make expected impacts at their new Premier League clubs after big summer moves. Mid-table sides have also been burned by underwhelming imports. Everton spent around £60 million on Neil Maupay, Amadou Onana, Idrissa Gueye, and others, but still find themselves embroiled in a relegation dogfight, with expensive new recruits having largely failed to provide expected production. Clubs seem unwilling to throw more good money after bad during the January window. The epidemic of new signings struggling to adapt and justify price tags after arriving in the Premier League looks to have made clubs twice shy about splurging again just half a season later. World Cup effect fading. How has the lack of a World Cup boost impacted January transfer activity in the Premier League? The absence of a World Cup bump has also contributed to reduced January spending. Last year's tournament put numerous talents in the shop window, prompting frenzied transfer scramble upon its conclusion. Argentine winners Enzo Fernandez and Julian Alvarez earned big money January moves to Chelsea and City after starring in Qatar. Breakout talents like Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Kudus also switched clubs on the back of impressive World Cups. Curious to know about the top targets unavailable? Attempts by Premier League clubs to reinforce their ranks have also been hampered by difficulties prying away top targets mid-season. Arsenal bid unsuccessfully for Shakhtar Mikhailo Mudryk before he joined Chelsea for £89 million. Ivan Toney rejected bids from several clubs, believed to include the Gunners, insisting he remains 100% focused on Brentford. The likes of Victor Osimhen and Rafael Leao have similarly been unavailable, with their clubs unwilling to negotiate. Arsenal saw a January move for Brighton's Ecuador midfielder Moises Caicedo collapse after having a £60 million bid rejected. Caicedo even took to social media asking the clubs to find an agreement before later admitting the Seagulls had blocked any exit this window, with the Gunners holding a 5-point cushion atop the Premier League in pursuit of a first title since 2004, failing to land priority targets like Mudryk, Toney, or Caicedo came as clear frustrations. Rivals Manchester United also struggled to convince top targets to make mid-season switches. Netherlands striker Memphis Depay rejected a return to Old Trafford, while PSV winger Cody Gakpo moved to Liverpool over Erik ten Hag's side. With Europe's biggest club understandably unwilling to lose key talents halfway through seasons, the difficulty of actually convincing sides to sell in January played a major role in a quiet window. Squad rebuilds on hold. Two managerial giants presiding over struggling sides have also opted against mid-season shake-ups. Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp and Chelsea's Graham Potter find themselves rebuilding for next season, placing January deals on the back burner. Klopp has spoken publicly about avoiding short-term fixes in lieu of giving incoming boss Julian Nagelsmann resources for a summer overhaul. Chelsea remains a team very much in transition after Potter replaced Thomas Tuchel in September. With managerial futures uncertain and season expectations lowered, neither Liverpool or Chelsea see value in rocking the boat until warmer weather. Squad reinforcements on hold until new directions crystallize. Big moves coming this summer. While January largely underwhelmed, all signs point to record sums being spent come summer. Arsenal must reinforce to remain title contenders, while United's owners have promised Erik ten Hag war chests for an expected push up the table. Liverpool and Chelsea will conduct major reconstructions once new managers are appointed, particularly in midfield departments, and City continues targeting superstar forwards Neymar amid Haaland dependency. The Premier League's financial behemoths have simply delayed rather than deterred their next waves of exorbitant spending, with clubs cognizant of profitability metrics and the economic landscape. This January served as a rare transfer window breather. And there you have it, folks, the inside scoop on why the Barclays Premier League transfer window has been as quiet as a library during finals week. If you found this video as enlightening as a last-minute equalizer, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more soccer analysis.